Crossing goddamn, what's that all about?
Very astute.
You ready, Nancy?
I hate when I come in and have to sign stuff. Drives me crazy. No, it just drives me crazy. They gotta sign stuff.
All these are additional?
I
We
don't
know
know
when.
what they are.
We're ready, okay. Turn your microphones on, everyone. Okay, the Tuesday, April 26, 2022, 7 PM work session meeting of the Wyckoff Township Committee is now in session. Roll call, please.
Mr. Madigan?
Here.
Mr. Melchiong?
Here.
Ms. Rubenstein? Mr. Shanley?
Here.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Here, I received a message from Ms. Rubenstein. She will be here around 7:30,
Okay.
so, just for the record. Okay.
This regular work session meeting of the Wyckoff Township Committee is now in session. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting appears on our annual schedule of meetings. A copy of said annual schedule has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall. A copy has been filed with the municipal clerk and has been posted on our municipal website. A copy has also been emailed to the Record, the Ridgewood News, and the North Jersey Herald News, all newspapers having a general circulation throughout the Township of Wyckoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda thereof was similarly posted, filed, and emailed to said newspapers.
Thank you, Nancy. I will take a motion to open the work session for public comment, 2 minutes per speaker. For any member of the public that may have comment or concern to the residents of Wyckoff, any issue.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Yes. Motion carries.
Yes, with an affirmative vote, the motion is approved. Can we do number 4 after the public?
Did I
comment?
miss number 4? Yeah, we'll do that after, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you for pointing that out. Okay. If anyone, well, there's no one here, so if anyone wishes to comment who is not here, please call 201-891-7000, extension 2220, if you wish to make a comment.
Hearing no one, I move to close public comment.
I'm not signing these again at a meeting.
Take a second over here, please.
Second.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
Mayor Boonstra.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Okay, now we will confirm that the Finance Committee has reviewed and signed vouchers, and that the mayor and municipal clerk have signed any necessary documents. Is there anything for me to sign? The vouchers are all signed. There were a lot of vouchers this weekend. That was my weekend to
Yeah,
sign
we
vouchers.
have a lot of vouchers.
I mean, it was like a foot and a
There's
half
one-
of vouchers.
One left in that blue folder.
Oh, okay,
Just one, I think the mayor signed it, it just needs one other signature.
okay.
All right, I'll sign it.
All right,
Thank
so
you, Tim.
we're okay here?
By the way,
And then we'll be good.
just a small point. I know sometimes we get them late. I'm happy to sign them, but this is the last time I'll sign them at a meeting. I'm happy to sign them, but they must be given to me in advance of a meeting. I feel rushed. I like to go through them. I like to be thorough. I just want that on the record. Thank you.
This is signed.
Thank you, Tim.
Pass it down there.
All right, here we go. Okay, moving right along. 8 PM meeting. Matt, anything you wish to go over there?
There are several resolutions on the agenda. Most are of standard business. I know that the committee has a couple that they've proposed that I'll leave to the committee to explain. And we also have the adoption of the 2022 municipal budget and the introduction of the salary ordinance and the capital ordinances to go along with that. But otherwise, I have nothing in particular
Okay, thank you.
for that. I do have a couple policy items, though. Just wanted to, am I good
Go
now?
ahead, yeah,
Good?
go ahead, we have time.
Sure.
We have time.
Sure. Just from the clerk's office, 338 dogs have yet to be re-registered as of today, so delinquency notices went out. They were due on March 31st. Those that are not re-registered by May 15th will be issued summonses.
Okay.
Hillside Ave, Evers Street, Paul Court Sewer Extension Project will begin on May 2nd. That project was approved back in 2019, and that'll run approximately through May 30th. And the Helena Ave Sewer Extension Project is moving forward smoothly. They actually were moving very quickly, I believe, on that project. Restoration contractor was on site yesterday, and I believe will be back the rest of this week to repair the trench. The township was, again, qualified and received platinum level recognition for the 2021 Safety Incentive Program from the Bergen County Joint Insurance Fund. I want to thank Bob Shannon and the department managers, and especially Denise Caprelli, for spearheading our efforts this past year, and I look forward to working with them as we advance into 2022. Reminder that the New Jersey plastic bag law goes into effect May 4th. NJDEP and Clean Communities are asking everyone to visit bagupnj.com to learn more about the program and what they need to do. Reminder that second quarter property taxes and sewer bills are due on May 1st. And reminder also, this is a monthly reminder that I have to issue, that anyone who's having issues paying their utility bills, whether it be water, sewer, gas, electric, please visit the township's website, and we have links and information to the state of New Jersey to assist those in making payments. And that is all I have.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions on what Matt has reported? Okay, policy action items. Anything we need to know there, Matt? No. Okay. Reports of the Township Committee. Tim, can we start with you?
Sure. Zoning Board met last Thursday, and a couple things came up that we may have to look at our ordinance as possible. Because they had two issues where they had to interpret our ordinance to determine whether or not it was permitted or not permitted. That's how they did the first two items on their agenda, and one of them took quite a bit. It was whether or not a tree house for children was permitted, because essentially a stopped work order was issued for it. So it looked like just two platforms in a tree, whereas the person who was building it said, well, we're gonna attach a slide to it and a few other things. But in a 4-3 vote, they voted that our ordinance does not permit it. It was not customary and incidental, so it could not be approved. So essentially, it looks like we prevent tree houses for children. So we may want to look at it, because the state has apparently done, they've done something with their construction code that recognizes them and permits it under certain circumstances. So maybe just take a look at it. The other issue was a resident installed solar panels on their front of their house, which is not permitted by our ordinance. That person is going to possibly, it was denied, it said it violated the ordinance, so it has to come out. So essentially, maybe look at that ordinance, because there are solar panels that look like, they look like roof shingles. So maybe we could do something with our ordinance that if they need to be on the front house, well, you have to put the ones in that look like roof shingles. So that might be something we can do. And then everything else on that meeting was pretty routine variances. About 4 of them were granted. They didn't end till about 11:45 that night. It was a long night. I didn't stay the entire night, but I did stay through the interpretation of our ordinance.
Do they, pursuant to statute, zoning boards are supposed to do year-end reviews anyways? They normally give a list of the decisions they've made, but also it's good to make suggestions with
Yeah.
regards to modifications.
Well, some of the members on the zoning board were saying the township committee should look at these ordinances.
I don't know if they did a formal report at the end of the year, but we should follow up and make sure they're doing a formal report.
Yeah, I don't know that they've,
Just for reasons like this.
yeah.
But just not to interrupt, but the solar panel, the solar issues, we've been looking at that for months. I've been looking at it as a fire commissioner for fire concerns. I've been working with the mayor with the master plan. I thought we've been looking at that, and we plan to update that. But it's my understanding that the resident to put solar panels up without a permit,
Yeah, that was true, and they,
and that there was all kinds of things there, but we've been looking at it. Maybe the mayor can give us an update of where we are on our master plan.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, but you spoke first, which is fine. Our municipal planner is looking at our solar panel ordinance, and will probably report here next month or early June on that and other items as well. So, Ms. Bogart is doing that. So,
all right, I'll continue on. Rec Board met on the 11th of this month. They actually they were given Scott Fisher's proposal for the separate bathrooms as a standalone building. And unanimously, they supported Scott's plan of what he wanted to do over with the snack stand, and with a building, with inside the building, one bathroom for the users of, the athletes. So the only other thing that came up, Whitecoff Lacrosse Day is at Pullis on the 21st of May. There is a Whitecoff Baseball Day here at Memorial on June 4th from 12 to 8. 12 to 8, 12 p.m. to 8. It was Whitecoff Baseball Day on June 4th at Memorial. And just as an update for the football and cheerleading, 170 players registered to play football and 130 cheerleaders registered to cheer for the football teams. 60 of them are the Pee-wees, they're the ones 3rd and 4th grade. 72 juniors, that's the 5th and 6th, and 40 seniors, which is 7th and 8th. So that's the update, that has closed, the registration on that is closed. This Saturday, Melissa and I were able to throw out the first pitch on opening day for rec baseball and softball over at Community Park. So it was a nice day. 4 teams, 2 softball teams and 2 baseball teams were there. And I threw out the baseball, Melissa threw out the softball, and it was nice. The baseball booster president was there, and he had everything out there, and we had the national anthem sung, and it was nice. And they announced that the 2 mayors that were former mayors that did not get to throw out the first pitch because of the pandemic were able to throw out the first pitch on Saturday. So it was nice. The only other thing that was the team up for Tidy Up was also on Saturday, and I was able to go with my wife over to Washington because she got here early and signed up. Took my son TJ, who's a student at Washington, with a bunch of his friends, and they went and cleaned up Washington. So it was nice. By the time I got there, most of the women, which did a great job, and the kids did it, they got all of it into bags. All I really did was carry the bags to where they needed to go once they were filled. But so anyway, then yesterday, was it yesterday? We did a Zoom call with PSE&G. PSE&G is doing a gas main replacement for gas mains, steel gas mains that are still exist in town. And they've located, you have the map, did they send you that map that they had on the Zoom call?
Yeah, I received it this afternoon.
All right, good. Well, and I just distribute that to all the township committee so that they could see it, because it's all over town, all the way from Hawthorne, all the way through to Franklin Lakes. And what they're doing is they're changing out the steel gas mains that need to be replaced, and they're replacing it with PVC plastic to get that up to par. They're also gonna change out the meters. Now, they're taking meters that are in your house, and the BPU has required them to now move them outside. So the problem we're gonna face is there's a number of houses, including mine, that the gas main is right in the front of the house. So when they do it, it's gonna be in the front of the property, and we're gonna have to try to encourage residents to put some kind of screening around it. But that's gonna be forced on us by the BPU and the utility. So that's that was the Zoom call we had. They're gonna start that, they said probably May to June, and they're hoping to finish it before the winter starts. But their program, their gas main replacement ends on December 31st. So they've been doing this throughout the state for quite some time. I guess because we're at the end of the alphabet, we're toward the end. We're kind of used to that with being Wyckoff. But anyway, so that, we're going to have more information which we could share with all the governing body members so that you can see what's happening. And then the only other thing is we did a conference call with Ridgewood Water to see if they would be interested in putting in the water mains on Helena while we had it open for the sewer. And it might have been just too late for them to do it because it's been open and it looks like we're closing it, and we're probably not going to get them to do it.
So the sewer trench itself will be closed, but if water has to go in, the road itself is not being restored curb to curb. So if water has to go in, it won't be as
Okay.
big of an issue. It wouldn't have gone in the same trench
And Matt and I
anyway.
did a conference call with Rich Calabry.
And they're still investigating whether their construction team can do it. And they said they'll get back to us in a couple weeks.
Yeah, because that's
Okay.
one of the few streets in town
It'll require,
that doesn't have
before
water.
before they give us a commitment, they'll probably be looking for us to do a little bit of outreach to the residents there to see if the residents even have interest in moving over to Ridgewater. Because if there's not a big interest on the street, it's not worth their,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
worth their money putting the infrastructure in the ground.
Right, okay,
Okay.
we could do that. All right, thank you. Thanks, Tim. Tom?
Okay, this evening, we do have our final budget hearing. I'll just make a few comments. Both Melissa and I had commented at our introduction of the budget a month ago, but just to hit some of the salient points, we did work extremely hard trying to limit the budget. We're particularly mindful of the inflationary pressures on our residents. Great thank you to Diana McLeod in particular for guiding us through. It was a pleasure to work with Melissa again as we went through various aspects of the budget. We had 4 or 5 meetings, and in the end, the tax impact is less than 0.3% or less than $18 per household based upon the assessed average of $801,000. We looked at various capital items along with resurfacing of our roads. We're particularly challenged now with the cost of asphalt that's up 30% since a year ago. So we're gonna have to figure out how we're gonna handle that. We did some DPW rolling stock. We did all the necessary fire department equipment and what they needed for safety. We also funded additional traffic calming devices. They'll be deployed in 2022 for enhanced pedestrian safety around towns. And we also began upgrading police officer radios and software upgrades, which will also improve public safety. We looked at some technology, shared services, and again, our portion, as I mentioned before, the township is 14% of a resident's taxes, and the rest is made up by the K-8 schools, the Rampo Indian Hills District High School, and the county. And all those other entities are mindful of the cost pressures, and I'll talk a little bit about the K-8, but I want to thank again Melissa and Diana, and Melissa will probably be opining a little bit about where we are in the budget, either now or in our meeting at 8 o'clock. Earth Day was last Friday. We had a very successful Shred Fest. I think Pete's gonna talk more about that as far as Shred Fest and the Styrofoam and what was going on with the Environmental Commission in town. Team Up Tidy Up was this past Saturday. We had a large crowd. They did a great job. We met here and we did it. And people participated throughout the time. We had a great turnout, and thanks to all the members of the Environmental Commission, the junior members as well, Denise Caparelli, and everybody that pitched in. As Tim mentioned, the baseball, softball, first pitch, unfortunately, was scheduled at the same time, so I was unable to go to that. I did go there about 9:15, and there were a couple of teams in the field, and just want to wish everybody all the best for the season. Last night, I attended the K-8 Board of Education meeting. They gave their final budget presentation and approved it. They had an increase since they introduced it in special needs education, and in the end, it included not only that, but 2 additional phys ed teachers that they wanted to, they're expanding the phys ed in all the schools. So it included 2 teachers, and they had approximately a $50 increase was the increase from the K-8. An issue came up about the challenges of parents and parking and drop-off and pickup, particularly at Lincoln School, and I volunteered that, and I spoke with our police commissioner this morning and our police chief as far as, putting that on the agenda for a future discussion in the police committee, and reiterated that we'd certainly be willing to at least work hand in hand on safety and security over there. Then, just want to also point out a sad note that one of our crossing guards, Susanna Pigeon, passed away recently, and I just want to pay condolences to her family, and we want to thank her for her dedication to our kids. She did the crossing at Cedar Hill, and I just wanted to mention that very sad to learn of her passing. As far as the snack stand, I think that's going to be a separate discussion, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, I'll mention that under parks, but yeah.
Okay, that's all I had to report for now. Thank you, though.
All right, thank you, Tom. Just for the record, we'll note that Ms. Rubenstein arrived at 7:19, 10 minutes ahead of schedule? As announced.
10 minutes ahead
Thank
of
you.
schedule.
There you go. Pete, you're next. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Unfortunately, I was away this past weekend, and I wasn't able to attend Shred Fest or Team Up to Tidy Up, our opening day, and I was sorry to miss it, because I heard everything went very well, and I know Rudy gave me an update. I think maybe you could expand
Yeah.
on the Styrofoam and Shred Fest, since I was unable to make it. Last week, we had, I was lucky enough to go up on the ladder truck with Joe Vanderplaat and an architect to look at the roof of Town Hall, which was very exciting. So Wyckoff from a different perspective. And that you definitely get up there on that truck. So, part of what we've been doing is part of a renovation project to Town Hall, and we're pretty much complete with the upstairs. Just have to do a little painting and ceiling in the ladder back room. The DPW did a great job, but once the warm weather came, they needed to get out to get all the fields ready for sports, and they'll come back and finish that up. But we're gonna get some different proposals on some different options we have to do with the roof, the gutter system, and the grading around Town Hall to help prevent some of the water issues we're having in the lower level. Then Personnel Committee met last week. We would like to thank Elaine Booth, who retired I believe it was like the first or second week in April, for her service to Wyckoff. And then we also recommended for the replacement for Scott Fisher for DPW Supervisor Manager to the Township Committee of Joe Vanderplaat, and there was no objections there. So we're excited for Joe to fill Scott's role. Scott did a great job for Wyckoff, and we're confident that Joe will continue to do the same job. The Memorial Day Parade Committee is going to meet next week. The parade is full steam ahead. We're getting all the final details in order, and we're all looking forward to a full Memorial Day Parade this year. And then lastly, I just want to thank the Budget Committee and our CFO and doing another great job on the budget. It's, something that I'm very proud to be a part of in Wyckoff, delivering responsible budgets, keeping one of the lowest tax rates in Bergen County, while still continuing to enhance the services in town. And that's all I have there.
Thank you, Pete. Melissa, would you like to go, or do you want me to go first, and then you go, or?
I can go.
Okay.
Do you want me to talk about facilities?
Which part? I talked about the roof and up here.
The basement, that we're just waiting.
Yeah, that you could say
Okay,
we're just
we're-
waiting for the lower levels.
Okay, then, you're on.
We're meeting with the architect, we're waiting for the architect to come with their plans for the basement for that area downstairs. Matt, I know. you-
Specifically renovations to the building department and
Yeah,
code
exactly.
enforcement.
So we're still waiting on that, and obviously the field house is gonna be a separate, discussion. And I attended and was very thankful to be able to throw out the first pitch for girls softball. Opening day was awesome, the weather held out for us. Was able to go to second grade baseball, and I'll just put it on the record that third, fourth grade girls lacrosse had a win over Mawa with Jillian Rubenstein, I think her last name was, in goal. So, congratulations,
Good
girls
job.
lacrosse. That's it for now.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was going to recognize and welcome Jillian Rubenstein to our meeting tonight. Nice to see you, Jillian.
She's only here briefly. She's here briefly.
That's okay, so she's still here. Okay, that's fine. Planning Board had a busier than normal meeting last Wednesday night. The chair of our Historic Preservation Commission, Doug Swenson, made a presentation to the Planning Board, which is required for what he did, regarding our 14 Revolutionary War era homes, or buildings, I should say, they're not all homes, which the Preservation Commission would like to add to the historic element of our master plan. These buildings are already on the state and national registers, and we now have the ability to add them, based on our Historic Preservation Commission formative documents, to add them also to our town's register. I'd like to have that on our agenda here to consider at the May 10th meeting. We'll have that on for that. Tom did a very good job. He explained what the process was, and the Planning Board approved a motion to forward it to the Township Committee for consideration, a positive consideration. The board approved a fence application at the corner of Eugene and William. It's a fence that the homeowner would like to put up on their own property. It's actually a corner house, so it's a front yard fence. And the reason I mention it is, I guess the noise from 208 is just, it hasn't reached a level yet. It continues to be a problem. And that's the reason they've come to the Planning Board and were approved to put up a fence. The generator application for T-Mobile to install a generator behind Town Hall here for the equipment on the cell tower, it is theirs, was deemed complete. That'll be heard at the May meeting. There is an application from 500 West Main Street, that's the old International Wire Building at the end of the street, to do some extensive renovations and to add some loading docks and a few other things, and actually improve the parking scheme. That was deemed complete. And a soil movement on Aver Street was approved. Under parks, the topic of the month is the bathroom and convenience stand at Memorial Field. We'll talk about that when I'm finished here. Matt has a report to talk to, and then we can have a discussion about it and see if we can come to some resolution. I also attended, as Pete indicated, the Shred Fest, which included a styrofoam collection and a drug collection. And by all accounts, everything was quite successful. The Shred Fest filled, we had 2 trucks there. They were both filled about 3/4 with material. The styrofoam was the largest one yet. It was about 20+ cubic yards of styrofoam, and it was delivered to the collection center in Wanacue the same day, actually, by the DPW. And our drug collection, we had a police officer there, and we collected 2 large canisters full of prescription drugs returned. Team Up to Tidy Up, I attended also, and I want to thank Tim and Melissa for handling first pitch duties for me. It actually worked out pretty well since you guys had missed it over the last 2 years, so that worked out fine. I always, for Team Up to Tidy Up, take the infield at Russell and 208, and I cleaned it up. I got 2 bags full of junk, 1 bag full of recyclables, and I stood up and hit my head on a tree when I was bending over to pick up a bottle, and I didn't have a fight with Tom Madigan, that's where this came from, on my head. So anyway, this Friday is, as we know, Arbor Day. I added a resolution to tonight's agenda. I asked Nancy to add it, recognizing and celebrating Arbor Day and noting that we will be planting a tree at Lincoln School at 9 a.m. Friday, and that we have our own sustainable tree farm at Russell Farms Park, and that's where we take our trees for replanting around the township, especially on Arbor Day. So we're all looking forward. I understand we're all going to be there Friday morning, which is great. Yeah. And we're looking forward to that very, very much. This is the first time in 5 years, I believe, that we've been able to plant a tree at a school, so we'll be able to give the students from Lincoln School a little lesson in tree planting and sustainability.
Yeah, the last time we did it at a school, it was at Washington.
Yeah, it was 2017, I think,
It was on
yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
And I looked, as we picked up TJ, because we took him out of school
Yeah.
early for his 8th birthday, I was checking out those trees. They're pretty big.
Yeah,
They're
well,
much
they
bigger
grow.
than when we planted them.
We have to
5 years
continue
ago.
to move trees out of Russell Farms because they do grow. There's also a resolution tonight memorializing the raising of the Ukrainian flag on our free speech flagpole by the library. It is up. It was not up for the entire month of April, so I think what we'll do is leave it up for May as well with the honor and remembrance flag, which is on our resolution tonight, to put that up, and then we'll evaluate at the end of May. But it wasn't up the entire month of April, so we'll stretch it to the end of May and hope things improve in Eastern Europe over there. What else? I too want to congratulate Joe Vanderplaat for his promotion to be the superintendent of our DPW. Just to note, this weekend is Matt's 2-month anniversary here in Wyckoff. So we'll be looking for the big 100-day report in another month, so. And I guess that's all I have. That's all I have.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
You put it on the planning board and the T-Mobile. Do we finalize the legal and financial agreement on T-Mobile?
We have, Rob, I'll defer to you on that. The planning board is only approving
It should be conditioned upon.
the site plan. It's a
Right,
site
so
plan.
Any approval by the planning board should be conditioned upon us executing a lease for.
All right, but this goes back a few months, that they had some interest in going to the planning board, and I know myself, I think Rudy, you raised it as well. Do we have a financial agreement and a legal agreement on what they're gonna do and what they're gonna put here? Rather than just the planning board going on their own?
The form of lease that they provided me is fine for what they want to do. Whether or not we have a financial agreement, it's going to take, consideration and contemplation from you as to whether or not.
That's not the planning board purview, though.
No.
There's only
No.
site plan approval, so, all
No, and
right,
again,
Any approval by the plan which be conditioned upon a lease
all right,
being executed between
okay.
the township.
I saw a number for,
okay, so can someone look into that to make sure that we have that? Because I didn't recall, I didn't know if Melissa recalled ever seen anything. Okay, thank you. I just don't want it to slip through the cracks.
okay, good point.
I know we had, over the years, there was several of them up at the high school, and there was always a legal portion and then the financial part. They're all different, so, thank you.
I missed, and Melissa, you may want to comment on this. We have a resolution on tonight which has to do with police pursuit and the inability of police to pursue vehicles under certain circumstances.
Yeah, I think
And-
it's not, we didn't put it on the consent agenda, correct?
It's in here in front of, it's not on the consent agenda, correct?
Right, I was gonna talk about it when we voted on it in April.
Okay, all right, I didn't know if you want to comment on it now. I was, that's all I have to
Do it at
report
8
under the
o'clock.
police committee, so, okay. Okay. That's all I have. Any other questions? Rob, if not, we'll move to the attorney,
Yeah, real quick for me.
before we come back to the,
We filed the
Snack
motion
bar.
to dismiss in the Aquare case. That's where the town got sued by the one resident.
Oh, right,
on Lebanon
okay.
Street, which is now a moot issue, so as far as I know, our motion is not being opposed, so I would imagine we'll have an order on that shortly. And then my only other thing to talk about was for closed session,
okay.
an update, and it shouldn't take me more than 5 minutes, so if you want to try to get it in before the public meeting.
Well, the only other thing we have here at the work session is the bathroom and concession stand. So Matt, I'll pass that over to you.
Sure.
You have a report, which we all have, I believe. Did everyone receive the documents? I think Matt had them on the dais here in
The
front of
committee
us
has
as
in
well.
front of you an email that I sent this morning.
Yep.
Which has a couple renderings attached to it. I direct everyone to the rendering titled Original, which I believe is on page 4 or 5. That was what was originally planned, to have a men's and a women's room accessible from the exterior of the, I'm gonna call it the concession stand building itself, with a locker room. After discussion, it was proposed by our Public Works manager that we move the restrooms to a separate building located a little bit to the west of the building, under the tree line, not to disturb the trees. That would be approximately 24 by 14, 25 and a half by 14, roughly, which would have a standalone men's room and a standalone women's room. 2 stalls in the women's room, one in the men's room. The addition, I know it was brought up at the last meeting that there would, recommendation that we put one restroom in the field house itself, accessible to the team room or locker room. So after taking all them in, you'll see revised drawing number 2, which puts the bathroom, water closet in the center of the building with an exterior utility room and two entrance doors, 2 man doors into the locker room, along with the 8-foot roll-up door. That's what's been proposed by Public Works. The Recreation Commission, as was already mentioned by Mr. Shanley, already discussed this as well and likes the idea of the standalone restrooms and of the one restroom in the team room. So now it just comes down to, what does the committee want?
Any comments? I don't want to have a protracted discussion.
I'm in favor of the revised plans by Scott Fisher.
Yeah, I'm in favor of revised number 2.
Right.
Yeah, I'm also in favor of revised number 2, basically similar to what we discussed at our last township committee meeting.
Tom?
Yeah, my only comment is that I spoke directly with Andy Wingfield yesterday afternoon to try to help clarify what the goal and objectives were And I'm clearly in favor of the snack stand with the team room as drawn for 25-22. And I'm also okay with an exterior separate facility bathroom, but my suggestion is that let's go ahead with the snack stand, and let's suggest a final location for the bathroom. I was out at the site today. I had a couple other ideas, but again, I don't know how that fits in, but the snack stand is top priority, and certainly in the next week or so, maybe we come up with some other ideas. I was concerned that I thought we were kind of encroaching on the library. I thought we were kind of encroaching on trees, and perhaps it could be a better spot for that. But as far as the snack stand, I was okay. I was hoping, and it didn't materialize because nothing's ever materialized, to see a site plan that would show everything that was going to be planned, including the press box that Andy Wingfield told me about that was going to be there. And of course, I spoke the last time as far as a gazebo pavilion, which I understand is a lower priority, but I would have liked to have seen the whole thing, but I'm certainly in favor of moving forward with the snack stand as drawn.
Yeah, I feel the same way about the concession stand. We need to move ahead with it. It's an integral part of the facility. I had some questions at the last meeting, which I haven't seen answers to yet. One had to do with any other paving that has to go on there, like a driveway up to the building. But I'm not gonna, we need to move ahead with the snack stand. I also feel, I was out there this afternoon, and actually this morning and this afternoon, and I measured the distance from the concession stand to the markings on the ground where the freestanding bathroom will be. It's 36 feet from the concession stand to the bathroom building. It's 12 feet from the bathroom to that large tree that's there. I would like to see some sort of a compromise there to get it away from the trees a little further. And my concern is we keep encroaching on the library with this entire project, because now we're gonna have a press box behind the bleachers, which is fine, we need it. I don't know how close that's gonna be to the library. I need to see some measurements there before, I think we should approve its placement and where it goes. And my general concern is that we're encroaching too much on the library space. Now, it's all township space, I understand that, but it's a library, it's a quiet zone. I understand when you close the building up, it's quiet, but it is their space. So if we could vote, I'll support the concession stand, I'll support the freestanding bathroom as proposed, with a question of the location on the site. I'd like to see it closer to the concession stand or the ball field or somewhere else, just so it's not so invasive into the library space. I mean, it says 12 feet is pretty close to that big tree. I don't care what anyone says. And I'll defer to, I guess, the facilities committee or something, or maybe one of you, maybe one of you from the facilities committee, and I'm the parks guy, just so we can find a new location for it.
I mean, I like the location of it because I think it's tucked away. I don't really want the bathroom out, like, in the middle of our space.
Well,
And the bathroom's not gonna make any noise for the library.
It's not gonna make noise, it's the back corner of the library.
The problem is,
It's not like the front of the
the
library.
grade goes up about 2 or 3 feet from where the concession stand is to where it's now proposed. And when it gets up, it's gonna overtake the site at a higher grade.
But it's tucked away in the trees. I actually really like
Right.
where it is now,
I
and I
do
don't
too.
want it closer to the snack stand and more out in the open. I don't really wanna see the bathroom that much when we're in the complex.
You'll see the bathroom at a grade 3 feet higher, trust me. And if you reduce the grade, you compromise the trees.
again, I think we're all in agreement in the snack stand, but I just would like to take another look. First time I saw it marked off was today. I'm not
It's
saying,
been marked off for like a couple of weeks now,
the first time that I saw it marked off was today.
but that's because that's the first time you saw it marked off.
I've been
I'm
to the
just saying
site,
that
I've been to that site, I never saw it before.
It was marked off in orange.
It was marked
It's
off in a
been marked
different
off.
spot, quite
It
honestly.
was a different place, and the last time we had a meeting, and again, we're trying to get it resolved for everybody. Last time we had a meeting, you were the one that suggested, I think it was a great suggestion, you wanted it closer to the building. I just don't, I'm just concerned, there's also a very big tree there. You got Arbor Day this week, we're very close to that big tree.
But I guess, do we have 3 out of 5 of us who want to put the bathroom where we are proposing to put the bathroom?
Well, is it that urgent that we do a bathroom, that
Yes,
we can't
it's-
wait 2
we-
weeks?
we've
We
been-
can't wait, you're
Yes.
telling me
Yeah,
we
we've been
can't
wait-
wait 2 weeks?
No, Tom, because we wait 2 weeks, then
Yeah,
we're another
we-
2 weeks,
it's been
then
delayed
another
enough.
2 weeks.
Well, if it
So I
was
think we
handled
need to
properly
know-
at the beginning, we
Well,
could have had
that's a
this
moot
done.
point. We're in the best interest of the kids right now, and it's already May, basically.
I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the revised plans for the snack stand and the standalone bathrooms that were submitted to us by Scott Fisher.
I would second it.
I mean, I'm in favor of I don't think it's too close to the tree, and I don't think it's too close to the library. I think it's better off.
12 feet away from the tree.
Well, it's 12 feet's pretty big, a lot.
12 feet away from the tree.
So, I mean, what's it gonna bother the tree?
I'd like to at least have someone from Shade Tree look at it.
But
It's
we-
not gonna
Well,
hold things
Scott's
up.
I don't-
No, if
Scott's
we
on
want to
Shade
vote
Tree.
on it, though, we can vote on it.
There's a lot of things we can do.
I just don't
but-
think, we're wasting too much time on this.
Well, the other
Exactly.
two is, the other two is, and for the record, I'd like to see, based upon the memo that I received today, not only did I have an issue with the site plan and what we're gonna do with press boxes and gazebo and all that, but I'm also concerned about and I feel we should need to have a review by finance and budget, because what was presented today is clearly not my understanding at all, as far as finance on this
We have
and what's going on.
$80,000, and this proposal is
No,
$28,000.
Melissa, your facts are incorrect. They were presented wrong. I'm just letting you know that. So
Matt, do we
don't
have
be
plenty of
misled.
money to do
Don't be
this?
misled.
Tom, I'm not being misled.
Don't
I wanna
be
vote on this
misled.
Because honestly, we need to move forward. This has been like a year, 2 years in the making.
It's embarrassing it's
All right,
been so
all right, all
long.
right, time out. This proposal, we've been moving forward with a concession stand which included the bathrooms within it.
Right.
About 2 months ago, we saw we saw the proposal for a freestanding bathroom with no consideration and no approval. We approved the snack stand, or the concession stand. This doesn't go back 2 years, this freestanding bathroom, it goes
Okay, but
back
it goes
2
back
months.
2 months. How long do we need to talk about a bathroom? If 3 of us are on board with this,
All right,
then
we'll
it
count to 3.
passes.
Okay,
Okay.
call the question,
Let's-
call the
we're
question,
not counting
Nancy.
to 3.
Again, we still
let's
have
call
no,
the question
we
on the
still have
motion.
no overall site
Tom,
plan.
Call the
It's
question.
sometimes we're
embarrassing.
not gonna have
Site
5 of us.
plans, site plans. People can vote what they want. We still don't have a site plan of what we're doing with the site. You can say whatever you want, we don't have it. We can vote on the snack stand, the bat, whatever, but it's half-ass.
Well, I want the children in August to have a full working bathroom, separate bathroom, because I don't want the public in the locker
Well,
room
how long does it take to
bathroom.
build the bathroom?
At the rate we're going,
No, how long does it
it's
take?
5
You're an expert on
years.
bathrooms, so tell us.
All right.
How long does it take?
No,
All right,
stop.
call it,
All
Mayor,
right,
please.
we're gonna call a question on a motion. Nancy?
Okay, so Tim, you've made the motion.
Yes.
Melissa, you've seconded it.
Correct.
Mr. Madigan?
No.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mr. Mayor Boonstra?
No. All right, the motion carries.
Done.
Mayor, we're gonna need that closed session resolution.
What's that?
We're gonna need the closed session resolution, see.
That's on the consent agenda. Oh, no, we need that.
Oh, we're gonna go into it now? Okay.
Oh, yeah, right.
That's okay.
Do we have time?
Yeah.
We have about
Okay.
10 minutes.
So item 10, as it stands, motion to adopt resolution 22-C3 and enter a closed session discussion.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Ms. Rubenstein?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Where are we gonna go? Into Ladderback?
We want, is the conference room
Is that-
set up?
Is that working? Is that,
Okay.